Hi everyone, Melissa here. I don't know how many people this will be super interesting to. Actually, it's probably going to be interesting to a lot of people. It's how I have improved, and I know that I've improved over the last 2 years since my hysterectomy and endometriosis excision surgery. But I wasn't quite sure what the cause was because it's like, was it the surgery? Or was it the fact that I started chiropractic? Was it the fact that I started sleeping? Was it a combination? And I'm a curious lady. I like to know why, what, how, all of the stuff. And one thing I've been finding useful as a tool for like brainstorming and talking through these things is ChatGPT. Think what you like of AI, but I found it more helpful than any doctor I've ever talked to. There's just no time in doctor's appointments, and regular GPs don't know enough. I've never met a specialist who knows anything. I've never had a good conversation about POTS. I've never had a good conversation about the hypermobility, any of that stuff. So I've been flying blind. But I was talking, well, at first I was kind of saying to ChatGPT, what do chiropractors believe about POTS? Because I get a sense after talking to my chiropractor about different things, they have a different point of view than maybe what the Western people think, Western people, like Western medicine. They definitely view the hypermobility differently, and my chiropractor feels like if we just keep clearing the subluxations, then eventually my body will, my nervous system will come into balance and everything will be just working properly. And although I don't quite understand philosophically, the fact that I'm improving in their treatment means I don't really care why or what the philosophy is. But the reality is that the tension in my neck is just 100 times better than it ever was before. Like, it is significantly better. I am better functionally and in my quality of life and my symptom levels. So I was saying to ChatGPT, what do you think it is? What do you think caused it? Because if I can isolate what caused it, then hopefully I can keep it going and keep improving. Now, I've improved so much. I'm not near normal. I do very, very well, but these conditions are still debilitating and impact me every day. But I think the thing that highlights most for me is how sick I was and how undertreated I was. Like, I'm actually really annoyed. I'm really annoyed that I couldn't give myself the benefit of the doubt and let myself I don't know, I just never gave myself a break about it. And the doctors they didn't do enough. They really didn't. And they still are not doing enough. And then the people in my life who were downplaying what I was going through. It was a lot. I was very, very, very sick. But anyway, here are the things that have contributed to my improvement to where I am now, to the fact that this year I am chasing lifelong dreams. I am publishing fiction books and I'm working on making it a career. So first is the post-surgical recovery. So I had a hysterectomy and endometriosis excision surgery 2 years ago. So they're saying, ChatGPT saying that one cause will be the inflammation reset. So endometriosis is a systemic inflammatory condition, and the surgery reduces that total body inflammation over time. So that's why it's kind of keeping going over the 2 years. And further down in the conversation, I was saying, does that really happen over 2 years? And it said, yes, it does actually take that long, for the connective tissue to heal, for all of everything in the area to just heal. It actually does take 2 years. It is a long thing. But the second part of contribution to recovery is hormonal stabilization. If my hormones were swinging wildly before surgery, getting rid of that roller coaster may have helped the autonomic systems stabilize. Number 3, less pelvic pain means less nervous system overload. So chronic pain keeps your entire nervous system on high alert, as we know. Lower baseline pain equals less sympathetic overdrive, equals better pain, POTS, all of that control. And then the healing timeline. So a full healing from endo-excision isn't a short thing. It takes 12 to 24 months for your nervous system and your connective tissue to fully calm down post-surgery. So yes, the surgery is probably a big part of what's been happening for me. And then we're talking about the natural POTS trajectory. So if the POTS is secondary, to the hypermobility, the endometriosis, the chronic pain, all of that, then of course we will come to gradual autonomic stability. So what I'm hoping is that continues to calm down. Now, the POTS was wildly out of control after surgery, but now it's pretty calm and I can isolate what's causing the problems. For some reason, it's postural, like in terms of like my arms. So getting dressed in the morning puts my heart rate up, making beds, putting clothes like up, putting your hands up and down to like put clothes in drawers, putting clothes on the line, putting clothes into the washing machine or into the dryer, like anything that's lifting my arms up. And I probably, raised my heart rate. Raises my heart rate and I don't know why, but anyway. Let's move on. So the third part of what's happening is the chiropractic care. And so that is the neuromechanical inputs and the nervous system effects. So it says my experience with my neck is the big flag here. So number one, the chronic cervical tension reduction. So those regular adjustments, the soft tissue work, reduces the muscle guarding, the fascial tightness, and the dysfunctional movement patterns that have built up over the years. 100%, that is a big deal. Two, the proprioceptive retraining. So even if the chiropractor talks about subluxations, what's physically happening is a combination of joint mobilization, muscle spindle resetting, and mechanoreceptor input, all of which feed new data to your brainstem and cerebellum, which help regulate your blood pressure, your heart rate, balance, all of those kinds of things. And I would add here that the reduction in tension in my neck, particularly in my suboccipital muscles, are reducing headaches and the severity of the headaches. And that, I think, cannot be underestimated on how much that has impacted my daily life and my health overall. And the last part of that section is the impact on vagal tone and baroreceptors. Upper cervical adjustments may indirectly affect autonomic tone. The research here is still young and small, but there are case studies and proposed mechanisms about cervical spine input affecting baroreceptor sensitivity and vagus nerve signaling. So essentially there's multiple ways that the chiropractor has been helping. And the other really important thing is that it's keeping my joints in place. So for example, my sacroiliac joints were very badly out of place when I first started seeing the chiropractor. And as it's gone on, as we're hitting, it's just past 18 months, so it'll be 2 years in November, I think it is, or October, because I started seeing the chiropractor about 4 months after my surgery. But what's happening is that my SI joints are going out less often and less severely. And I think that's the most significant area that's really obvious, but I think it's actually really helping across my whole spine. My cervical spine and my lumbar spine definitely are like the most impacted, but also the thoracic spine is also impacted. It's just quieter, hasn't been as loud, so it's not as obvious. So I think keeping the joints in place has been a big deal. But the last part which ChatGPT brought up is my own adaptation, lifestyle, and self-care. And I know that shouldn't be underestimated. I mean, number one is that I'm sleeping now. I've been on quetiapine for a few years, and that improved my sleep straight away, but it's gotten better and better. And I think that's due in part to all of these things, right? The pain is under control. I'm less overtired. My nervous system is relaxed, all of that. But it says, knowing your personality from past conversations, you've probably been actively pacing, adjusting activity, managing flares, and learning to listen to your body better, which I have. I'm not super good. I still do put myself in the crash and burn cycle, but I am doing much better at listening and standing up for myself. And fibromyalgia, POTS, chronic pain, chronic fatigue often calm down when you reduce the total system load. Inflammation decreases, pain decreases, orthostatic stress decreases, stress hormones decrease, and sleep increases. So yeah, those are all of the things, and I'll quickly summarize them for you in case we lost you somewhere along the way. But one, getting rid of the endometriosis, having that surgery, and then recovering from that surgery, huge deal. Number two, natural trajectory of those secondary things like secondary POTS and that kind of thing. They will improve as those other things improve. Number three, the chiropractic care on multiple levels, learning about and adjusting to the hypermobility. And then my own adaptation lifestyles and self-cares. It's the pacing, it's the sleep, it's the movement, it's all the things I've always talked about. And so it says, honest bottom line of your improvement, it's likely all of these things together. Surgical removal of the major inflammatory driver. Nervous system recalibration post-chronic pain. 3, natural POTS healing trajectory. 4, regular mechanical and nervous system input from the chiropractor. And 5, your own hard work managing and self-pacing. So that was really exciting. I loved seeing it all written out like that. And what was really cool is that I went into, like, I was talking to it about what I have been doing, and then it helped me come up with like a plan to try and help me keep things going. So because I said, does that mean I will get to a plateau if this is all related to, you know, surgery and that kind of thing? And so it wrote out what research and clinical experience with these conditions suggests post-surgery. And 18 to 36 months, which is where we are, it says it's often the window for the biggest gains in stamina, orthostatic intolerance, and joint stability. So what I can do to support that is layer in the strengthening, the pacing, the nervous system retraining, and the gentle cardio. Nervous system retraining plus dealing with physiological situations. Don't think I'm talking about brain retraining and forgetting the rest. And then it says after 3+ years out, some people plateau, but many people continue a slow and steady gain if they continue building their load tolerance carefully. So if I keep focusing on all the things I'm doing, I should continue. So it says it depends on 2 main things on whether or not I'll plateau. 1, will I continue giving my body small, manageable challenges, like that 1% rule that I work with? And whether my underlying conditions, the hypermobility, the POTS and all of that, remain stable or have secondary triggers. Menopause probably won't be super fun for that, but we will be proactive about it. So it says the more likely scenario is that my rate of improvement may slow a little as I've already made big leaps, but continue with the joint stabilization, the nervous system regulation, and the strength building, and I'll probably keep seeing incremental, meaningful gains for another year or more. And so then it went through with me to help me make a bit of a plan for what to do next. So it's like consolidate and stabilize, then build capacity carefully, then the resilience and long-term maintenance. So what we're working towards in a long period of time is increasing that strength training I'm doing. If I want to increase my walks, I can do that. I can do 30 minutes most days now with no problem, and I am very happy about that, because before I could only do it every 2 or 3 days. I had to have a break, or my muscles would end up very, very tight and sore. But now I can do that, and I'm happy because my walking isn't really about exercise. It's more about being outside in the fresh air, and I love it. So I don't know about that, and keep going with what I'm doing. And it gave me some possible markers for when I'm ready, but that's very personal to the things that I've been experiencing. And it gave me an optional increase to my strength training routine, which is really cool because I haven't been able to find a physiotherapist or personal trainer who understands the hypermobility, the chronic fatigue syndrome, like all of the bits and pieces. I just think that's a lot for one person to know anything about. And also, seeing the chiropractor isn't cheap. It's $60 per session, and I'm at 10 every 10 days. But in the last few weeks, I've had a bit of a flare, and so I've had to go weekly again for a little while to just kind of get on top of it again. So that's $60 every time. So I can't then go and find more people to pay money to. So I will get there, and I'll get back into my strength training. But I just thought I would share that because I think it's really pertinent. I just want that message out there all the time. Look at the perpetuating factors, deal with the physiological situation going on, support your nervous system, make 1% changes, like those teeny tiny changes. Don't try and rush in and do it all at once. But that's me, that's where I'm at right now. I hope I keep improving because I have a lot of things I want to achieve. I hope that you liked this update. Tell me if it was useful. Tell me if you have any questions, and I'll catch you again soon.